Welcome inside this web edition of Cuse Countdown. I'm in the Mello Center here alongside my analysts David Lauterbach and Tyler Cass. I'm Katy Williams. And Syracuse coming back here after a 64-52 win down in Miami. Probably disappointed to see the snow, guys, but they're back and ready to take on Wake Forest on Wednesday. Now, after the game, Coach Boeheim had a lot of complaints about his bench play. So who's going to need to step up for this team to continue winning in the ACC?
Well, for me, Katy and Tyler, it's Michael Benajay. He's only played in 3 of the 6 ACC games so far for the Syracuse this year, and he only has 11 points in 25 minutes. He has to step up. I know Tyler Ennis is doing well, but Tyler Ennis can't be playing 37 minutes every game, especially as a freshman.
I'm going to take the more obvious route and go by Keita. He's the guy. He's now the 6th man now that Jeremy's starting. And really, he's the fiery, emotional core of this team, but he hasn't shown the same kind of success on the court. He needs to step it up and get in, especially if Rakeem Christmas gets into foul trouble. That's when Baikita is going to have to play a huge role down the stretch.
Now the opponent in this one is Wake Forest. Syracuse hasn't played them yet in conference play, so guys, who should fans be watching out for on this team?
For me, it's forward Devin Thomas. He's great in the paint for Wake Forest. He averages 8.5 rebounds per game. Now, like you said, Baikita and Rakeem Christmas, they need to make up for the loss of Daewon Coleman. The two of them combined only average 9 rebounds per game. That means Thomas can almost out-rebound them just by himself. So if they really want to win this game, they're going to have to guard Devin Thomas closely and hope that he can't out-rebound Keita and Christmas combined.
For me, it's Cody Miller-McIntyre. He's the point guard for Wake Forest. He's their leading scorer and leading assist man. But more importantly, it's his clutch gene. He hit the game winner in the final seconds against North Carolina and then only had 8 points in their last game but scored 6 of them in the final minute to lead them to victory over Notre Dame. I think he's the real difference maker for this team and someone the Orange really need to watch out for.
Now, Wake Forest hasn't been doing as well as they would like this season, but has pulled off a couple big upsets. So what's going to be your X factor in this game? What's the difference maker?
For me, it's Lawrence Joel Veterans Memorial Coliseum. It's the home to Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons. They're 12-0 at home this year, 3-0 in ACC play at the Coliseum. They've beaten teams like UNC and Notre Dame at home. Now, I know those aren't 2 great teams so far for the ACC in conference play, but they are good teams led by Roy Williams and Mike Bray. And you never know, Syracuse, 19-0, number 2 team in the country. The Wake Forest fans, they're going to want to storm the court.
Yeah, that could be a big deal, but for me, it's going to be foul shooting, all right? Wake Forest gets to the line a lot more than Syracuse does. They've got 530 free throw attempts so far this season to only 422 for the Orange, and Syracuse is really vulnerable right now. If they can get the bigs into foul trouble, now with Daewon Coleman on the bench, the Orange is really just not very deep. So if Wake Forest can get to the line consistently and hit, they could really put the Orange in a hole.
Now the big question, your prediction. Who you guys got in this one?
I have SU winning 68-60. The Orange average about 71 points per game. Wake Forest averages 72 points per game. They have a great defense, but SU, the 2-3 zone, it's just so dominant. I think SU does prevail, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think, because this Wake Forest team, you can't underestimate them, especially at home, when SU is going to be coming in, and Wake Forest is going to want to make a big impact and just make a bang early in the ACC play.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the Orange do hand Wake Forest their first home loss of the season. I think it's a little more lopsided. I put 70-57 in favor of the Orange. Wake Forest doesn't really have the weapons that you need to score against the zone. They're not huge inside, and they don't really have a dead-eye three-point shooter who can shoot over the top of the zone. I see no trouble for the Orange in this one.
Well, that's all we've got for you here at the Mello Center, but be sure to keep it right here at sportsblog.citrustv.net for all of your post-game coverage of Syracuse and Wake Forest on Wednesday. For Tyler and David, I'm Katy. Thanks for watching.